7 p.m. Welcome to our regular commission meeting today, April 28th. If you would, before we get started, please join me with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, this evening we do have a consent agenda.
Okay. I move that we receive the consent agenda.
I second.
We have a motion and a second on the consent agenda. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Same sign. That motion carries. The first item of our regular agenda tonight is to receive the 2027 Senior Center budget request. Lynn Beth? And if you'll pull that mic in front of you, point it directly at your mouth, that way.
How's that? Is that good?
I think we got good from the back of the room. Thank you.
Okay. Well, good evening. I'm Lynn Beth, the director of Newton Senior Center. I've been the director there almost 4 years now. And also with me tonight is Bob Driscoll, our board chair. I came before you in February with an update on what happened at the center in 2025. The documents that you received earlier for tonight's meeting were the same documents I presented in February. I did, however, have last-minute revision to the budget document, which they just gave you that paper just a few minutes ago. So the signage out front and on the side of our building has been completed. Hopefully you've seen it. It has actually drawn in some new people who did not know that we were here. We were able to get this through a grant we received, and the grant also covered a sidewalk sign, which has also drawn in some new people. Our pool players who play in the senior league ended the year at 17-1. Last year they were 18-0. It was quite disappointing for them to lose the last game of the season, but they still had the best score of the league for 2 years in a row now. Our other programs have also grown since the beginning of the year. Besides the pool, the chair exercise program continues to be one of our more popular programs. We have 2 bus trips that are planned, one to the Black Hills in May and one to Niagara Falls in September. And we just added another one to Branson in November. This is a great fundraiser for us, as well as a great opportunity for people to travel without any worries. We get lots of positive feedback from these trips, and we do get quite a few people from the community that participate. The other fundraisers we have planned for the year are Score the Floor Challenge and Ace Up Your Sleeve. And the Ace Up Your Sleeve, we've actually borrowed it sort of from the Legion because they have Queen of Hearts. So we're going to kind of do something similar to that. I'm looking to maybe the Concert on the Concrete, which we normally had in June. We've had a difficult time scheduling, can't find a person to do our sound system for there. So we're looking to maybe move it indoors in the fall and have a spaghetti supper with it. I guess I'll have to rename it then if we do it that way. It won't be Concert on the Concrete anymore. Our donor campaign is scheduled for September. This, along with other fundraisers from the year, will be used to go through CKCF for matching funds from Patterson Foundation. I've not heard yet how much Patterson is offering this year, but many nonprofits in Newton vie for the same money. All our fundraisers will be going towards the new flooring needed for the center, which is original with the building, 1965. So far, our fund has $12,000 in it. We have a long way to go to get to 80, but we're hoping that our fundraisers will get us pretty close to it. We will probably need to do it in phases, though, as we won't be able to raise the whole 80 this year. The only other projects we have to do as an upgrade to the building is to the electrical system in both of the kitchens and refinish the cabinets in the nutrition kitchen, all of which are original, again, with the building in 1965. We've had some unexpected expenses. We had to replace a water heater, and we've also had some issues with our water fountains. Both required electrical upgrades, again, because of a 61-year-old building. We continue to provide education programs of all kinds and topics. We also provide space for political forums, and we provided space for a discussion on the school bond issue. Our space is easy to access for seniors, and they appreciate the ability to stay informed through these discussions. We also offer a foot clinic run by Hermes Foot Care. We just added another clinic to our rotation, making it a total of 9 separate clinics serving over 200 people in the Newton community. Again, the ease in which people can get into our building makes it a real asset to the community. So far this year, quite a bit of time has been spent on our nutrition program. You've read about that in the paper, and also I presented in February, talked about it. The program has totally been taken over by AAA, which meant a complete overhaul on how the program operates and how it is administered on site. AAA is equivalent to the Department of Aging, and they're a part of Sedgwick County. So there have been lots and lots of hoops to jump through to allow us as Newton Senior Center to continue with the program. January and February were challenging times to keep the program running and getting all the paperwork in order, including an 18-page contract. Finally, things turned around in March. Contract was signed after many, many, many revisions. Hired a site manager. People waiting to get on the program were allowed to participate. Meals were on time, and the right quantities were delivered to feed everyone. Since then, the program continues to grow. We've signed 8 new people in the last 8 weeks. We average 20 people a day. This program is so important to the people that participate in it, just as important as getting a well-balanced meal is the socialization. I had one family member tell me the change they have seen in their parents since they started coming to the meals and joining us once a month for potluck. Just think for yourself what it would be like if you had to eat every single meal by yourself and also not be able to get out and about to socialize in so many other avenues of your life. It can get pretty lonely. So the time, the hour and a half that they spend there every day eating lunch is vital to them. Last year when I did my presentation, I did not ask for a specific amount. We were hoping that it might be around $20,000 so that we could use all the money we raised in our fundraisers for the labor for our new roof. You were generous and allotted us the $20,000, which we allowed us to meet budget for 2026 and get the roof done last year instead of having to do it in phases. Again, I would like to thank you for that generosity. It has meant the world to the center. Our budget for 2027 will remain the same as 2026, except for the addition of a site manager for our nutrition program, and you'll see that reflected in the salary number. It will raise the salary portion to $38,000. This year, I would like to ask for $25,000. $20,000 of that will go towards helping to pay for operating expenses, as it did last year. The additional $5,000 will go towards helping to pay the salary of the site manager for the nutrition program. The county helped with it this year because it was so unexpected. They made it clear that it was a one-time deal and that the centers would be responsible for finding the funding in 2027. Newton Center is a little different than most of all the other centers on the nutrition program. Except for Newton and Heston, all the other sites, their directors, site managers, and cleaning staff are all employed by the city that the center is in. I'm not suggesting that we go that route. I'm just saying that that's how they do it. So it has not been such a financial burden for them to take on the nutrition program. For us, we figure that how we are going to pay for another employee. CPAAA allots us $5,000 towards hiring a site manager. That comes out to about $6 an hour. With the $5,000 from CPAAA and hopefully the $5,000 extra we can get through the city, we can pay $12 an hour needed to have a good site manager. The other increase to the salary line is for a cleaning person. We had someone doing our cleaning for minimum wage as a way to give back to the center. They could no longer do it, so we also needed to hire a cleaning person at fair market value. The other small addition to the salary line is for someone to come in and open the center at 8 o'clock, allowing me to be able to come in at 9 instead of at 8. Since the site manager is an employee of the center, she has been able to fill this role. My salary will stay the same as it has been since I was hired. Thank you for considering our request of the $25,000. If you're not able to grant us the $25,000, we will be still very grateful for whatever you can grant us. I'd be happy to answer any questions if there are any.
Can you just clarify the site manager thing? I was writing notes, but I wanted to make sure I understood. You're the director.
I am, yes.
The site manager does what again?
Okay, the site manager would be responsible for accepting the food when it gets delivered, temping it, making sure that it is, we got the right quantities. Also then serving up those meals when the people came in, making sure that everybody gets fed the right quantities, that kind of thing, and then do the cleanup afterwards.
Okay.
They also will be responsible for doing all the paperwork involved, which will probably happen beginning in May sometime. We have to submit meal counts so that we have the proper meal counts. We have to do they have to fill out a form required by the federal government because it's a federally subsidized program through the state. And so there's quite a bit of paperwork that also needs to happen because of it being a federal program.
So is that a full-time? Is that a 20-hour? What is that?
No, it's 15 hours a week. So we couldn't, for $6 an hour, we're not going to find somebody but at $12 an hour, we were able to find somebody that will take that. Because if not, the way the center is set up, I did it in January and February, and I was working tremendous amount of hours trying to monitor what was going on in the other room, or physically being in that, because you have to physically be in that space for that 3-hour time frame to make it work.
So you mentioned the number 38,000. Now, this right here
Said 35,000. I made a mistake.
Okay, because this says 36.
Right, 36.
Is that what it should be?
It should be 36. Sorry. I realized when I said that, I thought, oh, I didn't correct this paperwork.
Okay,
Sorry.
36.
Yes,
Okay, so this is
36,000.
correct.
That paperwork is correct, yes. Yeah. And I have it broke down if you need the breakdown with, what the site manager's salary comes out to, about $9,300 a year at $12 an hour. So there is some money that we'll still have to put towards all of this to make it all work, but.
Can you clarify for me the projects for 24, 25, and 26? Those amounts are amazing if you're actually raising almost shy of $200,000 in 3 years.
Oh, yeah, that's what between our fundraisers and, I have the breakdown here. So Our donation letter usually brings in around 35,000, and that's run in September. Our fundraisers bring in about 10, and then we get from the Patterson Foundation, we've been able to get 10,000 every year from them, but I'm not sure if that's still going to.
Right. Typically, I don't know, civic-wise, typically funding positions isn't where those monies go. It's funding programs and funding outcomes is where those go and everything. So kudos on the fundraising, by the way.
Well, we've worked really hard. I mean, we had these projects. I mean, the building is very old, and we, of course, the bathrooms had to be done. I mean, there was, and the roof, through the generosity of GAF, last year we were able to do the roof in 1 year instead of taking it over 2 years. But also, as the years go by, the economy has changed. So I'm not sure that that people will be able to be as generous as they've been in the past. So I'm thinking that we're going to have to do the flooring probably in 2 phases. It is asbestos tile, so we have to take that into consideration. And I've been told that we really need to do it before, the tiles are breaking and it's becoming a trip hazard. So the flooring is really an important aspect. And the project for next year with the kitchens and that kind of thing, it's just that the electric in the building is so old that it just really needs to be upgraded, which we found when we replaced the hot water heater.
Are you asking for the extra 5,000, like, is that something that you're asking for every year, or just like this year until you can?
Well, we're hoping that we can find other avenues that we can figure out how to make this work. We're also working with CPAAA to try to get them to help us fund it. But like I said, the county did it last year, but it was so they said December 31st, we're not doing it anymore. We got to figure out how to make this work in 2026. The county felt that we could do it with volunteers. It's a program that needs to have consistency in order for it to really work and stay viable. And so.
Do you have a job description for that position?
No, but
more.
I'm sorry?
Do you have more of a detailed job description other than just the things you've named off?
No, I could get one. I mean, okay. Like I said, everything has just been really crazy. It's been really important for me to spend the time to make sure the programs stay viable. Mm-hmm. And we had a site manager that his job ended December 31st. So come January 1, that was my responsibility until we were able to hire somebody else.
How many meals do you do a day?
About 20.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. Which doesn't sound like a whole lot, but to those 20 people and the fact that it's growing, we've brought 8 new people on, which is about 1 a week in the last 2 months. And I think as more people, food becomes more of an issue, I think we're probably going to get more people that are going to be participating in it.
Right. And you said that position was how much a year? 8,000, 9,000?
9,000. And like I said, last year I didn't ask for a specific amount, so we were very, very grateful for the money that you gave us, and we would be grateful for whatever you would give us in 2027. But I just wanted to outline what it was that we were going to be using the money for.
So on the county, you still will receive the 27? Or
Right, we will still receive the 27,250. We will not receive the additional 5 from them.
Okay, cool. Any other questions? Just
And if you have other questions, just let me know.
awesome.
Thank you, Lynn.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you, Lynn.
All right, the next item on this evening's agenda is street vacation. Chris?
Yeah, I'm going to lead on this, but Ed may jump in to assist. There's a memo in your packet, but what we're talking about here is the vacation of an existing road right-of-way in terms of it's platted, but it hasn't been constructed. The city received a petition from Millennium Associates Incorporated. Chris Wunger, their representative, is here today to discuss it. This is a portion of Highland Avenue between West 2nd and West 3rd. Typically, on these vacations, we will reserve a utility easement throughout the entire footprint of the road right-of-way. In terms of Chris working with staff, they've determined, and staff has agreed, that we could reduce the width of the utility easement from 60 feet to 35 feet if a gas line's relocated. Those steps are in process, so that's kind of some of the details making this one interesting. It's 2 steps. One is to conduct a public hearing. You saw the formal notices that were sent out. That's in your packet. Everyone should be heard, and it'd be an opportunity for the petitioner to talk about why they want this vacation. At the conclusion of the public hearing, you would consider an ordinance if you choose to go forward with the vacation. Here, again, because of that utility line relocation, should you go forward with the vacation, we would ask that the ordinance be contingent on city staff verifying that the line was actually moved. But we can start with the public hearing and kind of go from there. Do you have any questions for staff before the mayor opens the public hearing? You have a map. It's just to be clear, it's all of the area located there in red on Highland.
All right.
Go ahead.
Can you clarify for me what a utility easement?
Sure. I think of it, a road right-of-way would allow the city to construct a road. Right-of-way also includes the city's right to put utilities within. The city has no intention of constructing that road on Highland to connect 2nd and 3rd. So oftentimes, adjacent landowner would ask for the city to vacate that interest. A utility easement would still allow for the placement of public utilities, water, sewer, and anything could go in that public utility area. Does that answer your question?
Kind of.
There currently is a water line in there.
The blue area.
Yes.
So if you go back to the other picture, that red, that entire area is a road right-of-way that allows the city we could build a road that would connect West 3rd to West 2nd. We can put public utilities in there. There are public utilities in there. What's being proposed is the shift now to remove the road right-of-way, and then we would go to the blue area, which would maintain a public utility easement. If we got rid of everything, it would just be property owned by those adjacent landowners, and we wouldn't have the right to put public utilities there. So typically, that whole area that was in red would all be blue utility easement.
This is the one where those residents were contacted, or?
Yeah, the public notification is in the agenda packet, and I believe there are some folks that want to, I'm sorry, go ahead.
And nobody responded with a rejection?
There were no formal protests filed, but I do believe there are folks that want to talk about it here tonight at the public hearing.
Maybe
Any other questions for
let
staff?
them talk.
If there aren't any more questions for the staff, I'll go ahead and open the public hearing for anybody that wants to speak on this matter.
Go ahead.
Hi, my name is Rosalie Serrano. I live at 813 West 3rd, which is that big area off to, I guess it would be my right. We have lived there for since 1992. I don't know the math. But my father my parents have owned that house Before that, it was other family members. My uncle actually built that house, so it's been in our family since 1970 something. We do not want that road open. We have cared for that land, even though we've not asked for anything. My father used to mow that lawn. Mr. Powell's house, before Mr. Powell passed away, after Mr. Powell passed away, even to a couple of years ago before my father got sick. So we've always cared for that land. We've never asked for anything. All we're asking now is that you do not open it. We even, am I saying this wrong?
Go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off. I was just going to ask a clarifying question in terms of open it. You mean do not construct a road or do not vacate the road?
Do not open, or do not construct a road.
Gotcha.
We do not
Making
want.
sure I'm tracking.
Right.
My father actually built the little blockade barrier from having people drive that like crazy fast, because we had a lot of kids back then, so it was to protect the kids.
I talk about that road. We turned it into the city that people were walking, driving through there, making ruts, deep ruts there. So the city did come in, but they put the barrier on 2nd Street. So my husband then put up a wooden barrier on 3rd. Well, you know, you go in a little bit past Mr. Powell's house, right there. And that's where that wooden barrier comes in. But like I said, we don't want construction going through there.
What?
We like it just the way it is.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Thank you. Anything?
What grandparent are you talking about?
JSOs.
Okay.
JSOs.
Yeah, my brother George Jaso had that built
Right.
after he retired the first time from the military. And then he went down, family members only, so,
Okay. Very good.
thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, I'm Chris Wonder from Millennium.
If you'll raise that mic up so that,
I'm Chris from Millennium. So we're getting ready to expand the fourth time in 28 years. We purchased the house that's on my left side there. Their fire department, police department's doing some training this week, and then we're going to bulldoze that house. We just want to be able to build over as far as we can, vacate that, and it's never been opened. And, you know, if that were to be opened, I try to control my employees, but half of them would take off and go up to the neighborhood at the end of the day. We're going to open up 2nd Street for the fire department, the police department that is behind what used to be Brenneman's, the body shop. So it's dead-ended now, and there's about 58 feet that we're going to extend in there so the police department, fire department get in there if there was anything going on. But we just thought now's the time as we're getting ready to expand, go ahead, vacate it, close it, and use that land for something. We will not have any entrances or exits or anything going out onto 3rd Street or over there towards their house. We've cared about our neighbors since we've been there for 28 years, so. Any questions for us?
no, I mean, you're going to put like a building up over on that edge and try and get it as close to the property line or easement as would allow?
We're going to get what code allows us to get.
Okay.
It's going to be the same structure building we have now.
Okay.
And then we will fence around our building like we already have on 3rd Street.
Sounds like a win-win. No road,
So
business expansion.
do you all understand what they're going to do? Okay.
There's another question I'd like to ask.
That's what this forum is for.
We had a porch put in our front yard. We had to have permission
Hold
from
on.
every neighbor. We didn't get permission from them to even put that building up. That's blocking the view. I don't understand that. I really don't. We had to get permission for a porch. And they put a big building over there. Now they want to block some more of the view. Well, I don't understand that part. So I just thought I'd bring that up. I don't know that you could do anything about it. It's done, but I just wanted to bring that up.
Okay.
But I didn't like that part.
So are you feeling like this is, I mean, what are your concerns really about this construction happening? Like,
Well,
Because I hear some sentimental values.
yes.
I hear
but
that a lot. I mean, hear
Mine
that.
just comes from the
But
fact of us building a porch and we needed permission. That building they have there now just was up.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody that worked there had told us they did that fast so they didn't have to go through the,
Well,
but I don't know. That's hearsay.
yeah.
And, you know, but even what they're building now, I'm curious about that.
So we have a building code process. They will have to pull permits. It will go through our building division, and you are welcome to speak at that if you have any concerns at that building
Right.
when they go to do that, and that will go through.
Yeah, if they needed any sort of variance or setback, if there was a public notification. But obviously, if they can just build a building, there wouldn't necessarily be a public hearing component or feedback. Maybe we can talk after about the porch. I'm not 100% tracking on that, but yeah, there is a process, Mayor.
Staff will get with you and everything, and but. So,
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
thank you, Patty.
Yeah.
I don't.
Okay, we'll go ahead and close the public hearing, bring it back to the bench. Any discussion from commissioners?
I think it just needs to be stated that obviously the owner here is going to follow all the protocol,
Yeah.
all the permits, everything that the city requires.
Yeah, there's no other waivers that you would be affording other than vacating the street right of way, right?
Okay.
And again, if you are inclined to approve it, I would just ask that it be contingent on city staff verifying the actual physical relocation of the existing utility operated by Kansas Gas.
Okay.
I think I probably know the answer, but it would appear to me that east of, I can't see, Highland? East of Highland would be residential zoning, and west would be, I don't know what it is, C3 or
I believe it's I-2.
I2. And the street would be something, but we're extending it would turn into industrial is what it would be.
Yeah, I mean, I think of it as an overlay, whereas the adjacent landowners already own to the middle of Highland, and this just
that's
removes that
Yeah.
overlay, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And these are just unfortunate things that happen when you have industrial and residential next to each other, and they have a right to build in an industrial zoning. And it just is.
Okay, any more?
So then the next step would be the ordinance.
Ordinance number would be 5200-26.
I mean, we approve 5200-26 contingent upon what Chris is saying to.
We anticipate that happening, I believe, sometime in May, and we can follow up just to give an update to the commission that it was approved, but then the mayor would have authority to sign that ordinance at that time.
All right, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
I think I'm going to not participate in this vote, if that's okay, because I feel like there's a conflict for me. This is my family, and I feel like there's a conflict, and I'd be very biased, and I don't want to be biased. I want this to happen how it's supposed to go down. So I feel like if I can.
If you would like to abstain, you may not have a legal conflict here, but if you don't feel comfortable voting, I think we respect that. And if you want to abstain and allow the rest
I
to
just
vote.
want everybody to have, Chris to have his opportunities that he's supposed to get. If I'm going to be biased, I'm just going to be honest, and I don't want to be that.
Sure.
I'm just being honest about it. So I'm going to sustain.
Okay, thank you. We'll note that.
All righty. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Same sign. And one abstention, correct? Are you abstaining?
Yeah.
All right, very good. Motion carries. The next item this evening is to consider an airport ground lease agreement with Ballard Aviation. Chris?
And I would ask that we table that, just to give you a preview of it. This is the ground lease that essentially avoids the area being farmed at the airport. They are up to harvest wheat in June. The parties have agreed to extend it out to allow the farmer to do a final harvest. So we'll probably bring this back in, I would assume, June or July to start the term at that point. But the concept of the lease is the area in blue, which Ballard, which is just to the north, has complained about some of those farming activities. They're willing to pay a lease rate higher than what we're paying the farmer just so that it can go to grass. And I think it's a win-win for all. We just want to work with all our partners, the farmer that's doing it, allow them to get in. We will communicate with Ballard when those activities happen to just try and reduce any issues. So we'll bring this back to you.
Okay, so we need a motion to table it?
Table to a future meeting.
I move that we table that to a future meeting.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Same sign. Motion carries. All right, next item this evening is to consider 2 temporary alcohol permits for Whiskey Wagon, July 31st and August 1st for the CPRA Rodeo, and August 8th for the Bulls and Barrels event.
Thank you, Mayor. This is a request that you have before you for Whiskey Wagon to do these 2 events because they've put it all on one. They would get 2 different permits, and because they're a caterer, they do not have to have the partners are part of this that has to be filled out, the drawing or the ABC form. That does not have to be filled out because they are a caterer through the state. So other than that, they meet all the requirements and would say to approve their request.
All right, do we have a motion to approve that request?
I move we approve the 2 temporary alcohol permits.
Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Same sign. Motion carries. And now we'll do the citizens forum. We have Alyssa Brown. If you would, please state your name and address.
Yeah. Elisa Brown, 708 Bobtail
Awesome.
in Newton. Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. My name is Elisa Brown, and I appreciate the opportunity to speak tonight on an issue impacting a residential area in the northeast portion of Sand Creek Station. I live in this area, and the neighborhood is immediately adjacent to a commercially zoned property that includes the Sand Creek Event Center. I'll jump right into the concern. So over the past several years, there have been evening events at this venue where amplified music is played late into the night, sometimes as late as 1 a.m. As nearby residents, we can clearly hear the bass from this music inside our homes, even with doors and windows closed. When these events take place, enjoying a quiet evening outdoors on our decks or patios is just simply not possible. And going to bed at a normal time can be really disrupted by the noise for sure. So we and others have contacted the police department on multiple occasions to report that noise concern, and the officers explain that under the current zoning and noise regulations, there's very little they're able to enforce. So this raises an issue of compatibility, specifically how amplified sound from a commercial property is affecting established residential homes. There's at least 25 nearby properties in that area that are directly impacted and experience the disturbance. We're not asking the city to shut down a business or reverse existing zoning decisions. We value economic development and want businesses in Newton and the community to thrive. What we're asking for is a closer look at reasonable decibel limits or sound mitigation standards in situations where commercial uses border residential neighborhoods, particularly during late evening and nighttime hours. I would also add it's possible the Sand Creek Event Center was not constructed with sound insulation designed for repeated amplified noise, which further amplifies the impact on the residents. My understanding is it was built to sell fireworks as its primary purpose. Our goal is balance, allowing businesses to operate successfully while ensuring residents can enjoy peaceful evenings and rest in their homes. We respectfully ask the Commission to consider whether additional regulations, conditions, or mitigation measures could help address this issue moving forward. I'm going to turn it over to our neighbor Mike, who's going to add some additional comments and context that he would like to share as well. And we just thank you for your time and consideration.
Good evening. My name is Mike Linehan. I live a few houses up the street from the Browns at 614 Bobtail. And thank you for the opportunity to let me speak to you guys tonight. I appreciate it. My house is about 150 yards from that Sand Creek Event Center. I know your guys' time is valuable. I'm not gonna restate all the concerns that Elisa brought up, but I would like to add that when they've got that music cranked, not only can I hear it from inside my house, but I can feel it. And I mean, a nice evening it was a beautiful night on the 18th. Having family or friends over, forget it. There's no chance. I brought it to the City Commission's attention last year, and I give Ms. Rivas a lot of credit. Not only did she respond to me right away, but she conducted a complete and thorough investigation into the issue at hand. And like Elisa had said, it comes down to the zoning and the noise ordinances. I've lived at my house for 18 years. If I had known in 2008 that something like that would have been built, I would have never chosen that area. I would have gone in a completely different direction. There's only so much that I can say here tonight. There's only so much that an email or a phone call can do. I've got some half-decent cell phone video of the events of the 18th. It captures a little bit of the racket that was going on over there. But I would ask the next time they're having one of these concerts, if you will, if somebody from the City Commission would pay a visit to our neighborhood so you could actually see, hear, and feel firsthand of what we're having to deal with. You guys don't have to come at 12:59. It's equally as terrible at 7:30. But anyway, thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir.
We live off of 24th and Old Main. So, and I know that at times when there's been events that have gone on over there, I have hearing issues, so I don't hear it like my family does, but my family has mentioned before that they can hear. I mean, it's not like a nuisance for us necessarily because we're further away, but I can only imagine maybe for someone that lives closer.
How often does this happen? Is this weekly, every other week?
Hit and miss. The one on the 18th.
Can you go to the mic, just for the public to hear?
The one on the 18th was the first one of the new year. And we do have a bit of a reprieve around Independence Day because for, I want to say, a 4-week period, it's strictly a fireworks sales business. And there was a stretch of, I want to say, about 6 to 8 weeks after Ms. Rivas had responded to me. I was thinking of emailing her back, and I said, well, it's been quiet. I don't want to jinx it. And then the fall came around, so October and November, it was almost every other week. You know, and there are some quiet events. I was driving home from work on Saturday, and I saw the parking lot was full. It was about 6 o'clock, and I thought to myself, oh, brother, you're in for a long evening. But there was nothing. So there are times where the event center is full and it's quiet, but when they got that bass cranked, it is a nightmare.
Were you referring to, you're not just referring to this one event, you're referring?
Yeah.
No, it's
all
yeah.
events where there's loud music and stuff.
Yeah.
'Cause
There are multiple occasions throughout the year when the music becomes basically unbearable.
Yeah, yeah, I get that.
Danielle?
Yes. Thank you, Mike. Mike and Elisa reached out actually last week. I responded to Mike, but I had not responded to Elisa. of a thought that came up, which we have not tried, but with the new relationship we have with our commissioner and the business owner, I thought we could have just a candid conversation about how we could mitigate that noise, just in a good faith conversation, maybe a way to contact him when it does get loud. And I know what he's talking about because I've been there before and I've experienced it. You can have loud music and not hear it outside. It's the bass. It's like when they turn up that bass, it vibrates, and it can be annoying. So I empathize and I understand, but I think from my experience with Mr. Muth, Jason's experience with Mr. Muth, I think having a conversation could get us where we need to be. That was my next step. They beat me to it. So I'm hoping that in the next couple of weeks, I'll reach out to Commissioner Miller if you're willing to help have a conversation and then go from there. If that doesn't work, then I'd invite them to come back and see if there's another option.
Well, what's available to us as far as zoning? What can we do? I mean, let's say everything else fails. What can we do?
We can take a look at the ordinance. I agree with the way that our PD has interpreted and enforced the ordinance. I believe they're proper with that. So if that Danielle's plan of bringing everyone together and seeing if there aren't an easy fix there, we can absolutely look at what we have on the books and take a look at potential changes.
Because I would be for that if we're not going to be able to work with
I think that's
Mr. Muth. So, yeah.
I think that's a great place to start. I was actually thinking along the same lines as they were talking about that, is to, maybe we can collaborate something with the owner. And
well, he's got to just agree to put a cahitas to that kind of, or put some restraints on that. I mean, he's the one that lets people use the building, so he can dictate how they do their music, and if that doesn't work, then I think we need to go and look at this.
And I agree with what Kat's saying. I was at the event on the 18th there, and the music was extremely loud. I was inside.
Yeah.
And it was even hard to have a conversation with anybody inside the building. And so I think, some kind of ordinance or some kind of collaboration with the owner there to try to help kind of bring that down.
Let's start with a
little bit, but keep it
conversation.
inside.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
So if you were at the event, was it a DJ?
There were both.
I mean, is it
And a DJ,
is it a
like a
sound
combo.
system in the building, or is it somebody bringing it in?
Is it
They brought it in.
Yeah.
okay.
So
that's something that he can't control.
I mean, it's just an information. First, we have to get
Yeah.
make.
Some
it-
information.
Have you ever talked to the building owner? Okay. That was,
I know him from years ago,
yeah.
but I did not know that he was the owner of this property until fairly recently.
Yeah.
Let's see what we can do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We'll set
let's
something
talk
up
to them.
in the next week or two, if that's okay. I'll get some availability. I'll broker the meeting. Okay.
Sure. Yeah.
Good.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
All righty. Next item on this evening's is an executive session.
We'll table that as well. No need tonight.
oh, okay, yeah.
Well, do you need a motion for that? Okay. Well, with that, we'll go ahead and go around the horn. You have anything you'd like to say?
I do not.
Sir?
No, sir.
No, sir.
No, sir.
None.
No.
No, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, everybody. We are adjourned.